Sarah was like many people in modern life, busy, successful by conventional standards, and yet quietly discontent. At 32, she had climbed the corporate ladder in her marketing career, had a nice apartment, and lived a comfortable lifestyle. From the outside, it looked like she was thriving. But inside, she felt hollow, as if something essential was missing from her life. Every morning, Sarah rushed to her job, meeting deadlines and handling clients. But every night, she felt a growing sense of disconnection. She often wondered, is this all there is? One evening, exhausted after yet another long day, Sarah stumbled upon a podcast on philosophy. The topic of the episode was Socrates and his teaching that an unexamined life is not worth living. Intrigued, she listened as the host talked about Socrates and his belief that a meaningful life is one where actions align with principles. Then the host mentioned the phrase attributed to Socrates, "To be is to do." Those words struck a chord deep within her. Sarah realized that she had been living passively, going through the motions without consciously deciding what she truly wanted her life to represent. Her life had been defined by work tasks, but not by values or purpose. She asked herself, what am I actually doing that defines me? Socrates lived in Athens and never wrote down his teachings. Instead, he spent his days engaging people in conversations about life, ethics, and virtue. He believed that wisdom came from knowing that one knows nothing, and that the path to knowledge was through questioning and reflection. Socrates was constantly asking people to reflect on their own lives and actions, urging them to live ethically and in accordance with higher principles. His influence was so significant that his ideas threatened the status quo, and he was eventually sentenced to death by the Athenian state for corrupting the youth and introducing new deities. Even in his final moments, Socrates refused to abandon his pursuit of truth, drinking hemlock poison as a demonstration of his commitment to his principles. As Sarah learned more about Socrates and his philosophy, she realized how far her life had drifted from a path of meaning. She had been pursuing career success and material stability, but she had never stopped to reflect on what her deeper purpose was. Sarah understood that her sense of emptiness wasn't a lack of achievements, it was a lack of intentional action. To be is to do, she repeated to herself. She decided to take a step back and examine what actions would reflect who she truly wanted to be. She began asking herself difficult questions. What do I value most in life? What kind of person do I want to be remembered as? What actions could I take every day to align with those values? The next day at work, Sarah approached her tasks differently. She no longer saw her job as merely a way to pay the bills, but as a platform to make a positive impact on those around her. She started small, being kinder to her colleagues, mentoring junior employees, and helping others in the office whenever she could. She also began volunteering at a local charity on the weekends, finding a new sense of fulfillment in giving back to her community. As time passed, Sarah's actions began to reshape her life. She found herself more connected to others and felt a deeper sense of satisfaction at the end of each day. By acting in ways that aligned with her values, Sarah had discovered a sense of purpose she had been missing. Socrates' message resonates deeply in the modern world. Today, with so many distractions, pressures, and societal expectations, it's easy to live life on autopilot, chasing career success, social validation, or material wealth without stopping to question whether those pursuits align with who we want to be. To be is to do challenges us to think about our actions and how they define us. In a world where our identity is often shaped by external factors, what we own, what job we have, or how others perceive us, Socrates reminds us that our true essence is reflected in what we do. It's not enough to exist passively. We must actively engage in the world around us, making conscious decisions that reflect our deepest values. Today, we can relate to Socrates' wisdom by applying it to our everyday lives, Whether it's in our careers, relationships, or personal development, we have the power to choose actions that reflect who we want to be. Are we living in a way that aligns with our principles, or are we merely going through the motions? In Sarah's case, by taking control of her actions and living intentionally, she found a new sense of purpose that had been missing from her life. Socrates would have approved of this approach because it's rooted in the fundamental idea that we are defined not by what we have, but by what we do. Ultimately, the wisdom of Socrates is timeless, urging us to examine our lives, reflect on our actions, and live purposefully. In a fast-paced world, his message serves as a reminder that the essence of being comes from doing, and it is through our actions that we give meaning to our existence.